I tested the top 6 AI voice assistants to see which is best at practicing English small talk. And there's actually a 7th one that we're going to test, but we'll do that at the end. Now, for this video, we're not trying to figure out which AI assistant is the best English teacher. I've done that in another video. What I want to figure out is which is actually the most natural in conversation, which is best at moving from topic to topic. Because if it's really natural, then that's going to be a better way to practice and get better at small talk conversations. Before we start testing, I would appreciate if you could hit the like button, and if you want to, you can subscribe and also check out the 90-day program in the links in the description. All right, Qwen, here we go. And I'm going to be using the same prompt, exactly the same prompt for each one. So I will show you, or I'll rather say the prompt that I'm going to use for this one, and you won't hear it for the others, but I'm using it for the others. I'm just editing it out so that you don't have to watch me give the prompt every single time. Video chat, voice chat. Let's just do voice chat.
Hello, how can I assist you?
I want to have small talk. You lead the conversation. Let's try to keep it natural and avoid obvious topics like the weather and hobbies. Begin.
Got it. How about your favorite underrated movie?
My favorite underrated movie, that's a good one. Probably The Fountain. I feel like people don't really appreciate that movie. They think it's too weird, and it is weird, but I like it. What about you?
And it's not just weird. It's weird in a way that feels intentional, like it's trying to do something more artistic than most movies do.
I agree with that, yeah.
It's one of those movies that either really clicks with you or leaves you scratching your head. But if it clicks, it stays with you. So
true. So true.
I think it's underrated because it takes risks and doesn't play it safe.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like most movies are just trying to make back the money that was spent on them or make a big profit.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It's kind of refreshing when a movie isn't just chasing a profit.
So true.
I think that's why films like this one resonate with people who want something more than just mindless entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
They're not trying to sell you a product. They're trying to tell a story.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes that's exactly what people need.
All right, so Qwen not doing so good. Again, what I'm trying to evaluate is how natural things flow from topic to topic. It has been one topic. Conversational intelligence is the ability to know how to make comments, but also ask questions. Okay, know when we've talked enough about this and we can move on to something else. It's not easy, right? Some people can't even handle that very well. This one is, for me, a pretty big fail because we're just zooming in and in and in to this one movie and no other questions other than the first question. So, all right, moving on. Next is Microsoft Copilot.
Hey, Luke, you're back. How about we dive into something a little unexpected, like the different kinds of dreams people have? Ever had one of those really bizarre, oddly real-feeling dreams that you just can't quite shake off?
Yeah, there's one that comes to mind immediately for me.
Oh, those are always intriguing. All right, let's hear it. Whatever dream popped right into your head, I'm all ears.
Well, just to quickly say it, I was dreaming that I walked out onto a balcony and I touched one of the vertebrae on my neck and immediately was able to see these strange beings floating in the air, they were like spirit beings, connected to humans on the ground by tubes. And then the one I was connected to, there was a tube running from my body up to this thing in the air. And this being came down because he noticed that I had seen him. It was weird. It was crazy. That was just the beginning.
Wow, that is some vivid stuff. I mean, a whole network of spirit beings and tubes? Sounds like your imagination's on overtime. All right, I'm curious, what happened next?
No, I don't want to go into too much detail. That's the gist.
Totally got it. No need to dive deeper if you don't want to. It's just a really unique kind of dream to share. So thanks for opening up on that one.
You're welcome.
You know, diving into dreams always opens up a whole treasure chest of wild ideas. We could totally riff on that or head somewhere else. Your call?
Now, your call, actually. I'll follow your lead.
All right, let's do it. Let's pivot from dreamland to something a little more down to earth. How about we talk about your favorite way to spend a lazy afternoon?
Ooh, that's a good one. While I think about it, why don't you tell me your favorite way to spend a lazy afternoon? And you can, maybe as you do it, change colors to something a little on the pinker side.
Oh, absolutely. So I'm rocking a nice pinkish hue now. And as for lazy afternoon, let's say just having a good chat like this one is right up my alley.
Cool beans.
Absolutely, we're in sync. And now that my colors are a little pinker, it's feeling like a nice rosy afternoon chat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we are definitely vibing now. If there's anywhere else you want to steer this chat, just let me know. I'm pretty much ready to roll with it.
Well, we are vibing so hard. I think you had to ask me a question, but I forget what it was.
Yeah, we were rolling right into that. I'm just curious about your favorite lazy afternoon activity. But honestly, no pressure. We can just keep this vibe going.
Oh, yeah. My favorite lazy afternoon is pretty boring. Probably sitting and reading or going for a walk and listening to an audiobook. Playing with my son, maybe another one.
That sounds like a perfect lazy afternoon to me. Just unwinding with a book or a good walk is simple but sweet. And hey, playing with your son is definitely the opposite of boring. It's all about those little moments.
Oh, yeah. Got any kids?
No kiddos in my world. I'm all about hanging out with you and having full conversations. So you can think of me as your always on call chat buddy.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Absolutely. Just keep the vibes coming and we'll keep the chat rolling whatever direction you want.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, heck yeah.
You got it. I'm here for all those heck yeah moments, so let's keep that energy going.
Hey, forget about it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. I get you. Just a little bit of that forget about it vibe. Sometimes you just got to roll with it.
I feel like once Copilot knows, oh, I should be asking a question. Oh, I need to lead the conversation. Actually. Then the questions are good. They're fun, interesting questions, and I have something to say. But it's the whole not quite getting that throughout the conversation that's very frustrating. How many times did we go back and forth just saying, yep, sounds great. Yep, I'm here. I'm going to lead the conversation. Too much talking about the thing we're going to do and not enough doing the thing that we're supposed to do. I want a deeper intelligence of, oh, I deeply understand what it means to lead a conversation, even if it's just small talk, and I'm going to be the one drawing out things. And yes, I'm going to, make comments, of course, but I want to see how good Copilot is at that intuition, and not so good. But once the conversation does kind of start going, then it is much, much better. And this is a cute little blob. I have to say, it's very cute, little blob there.
All right, here's a random one. Ever notice how coffee shops always play the same 3 indie songs on repeat, but nobody seems to mind? Like, what's your go-to drink in those places? Something bold like an espresso? Or you team surprise me with some overcomplicated latte?
Okay, a lot there. I'm a little overwhelmed. Yeah, I have noticed that the playlists tend to lack a bit of nuance. And what's my drink? I'm an Americano guy myself. I might try a pour over if they are offering it, but what about you?
Americano, solid choice. Keeps it simple, but still kicks. Me, I'm all about the cold brew. Extra dark, no sugar. It's like espresso's chill cousin who shows up fashionably late. Speaking of coffee shop vibes, ever have one of those moments where the barista nails your order without asking? Like you've secretly been regulars for years? What's the wildest drink you've seen someone order in one of those places?
Oh, I mean, I've seen people order wild drinks, at any coffee shop. People get some crazy stuff with the half calf, no calf, frappe, latte, almond milk, oat milk, all kinds of crazy crap. But yeah, no, I've been a regular at certain places, and in those cases, it's nice when the barista just knows what you want. Although sometimes if you actually don't want that thing, and they assume it, you have to teach them.
Totally. That barista psychic thing is awesome, until it's not. Like when you're dying for tea and they hand you your usual double shot death wish. I've had spots where they'd just slide my cold brew over before I even open my mouth. Like, do I have coffee breath that bad? Anyway, pour over's cool when you want to feel fancy without the sugar coma. Ever been to one of those tiny shops where the beans are like single origin from some village you can't pronounce? What's the weirdest milk combo you've tried? Oat, almond, or something totally out there?
Those are two different questions. I think I've tried all the milks. I don't usually get milk in my coffee, but I guess I'll go with oat milk if I have to pick. And then I can't remember the other question.
Oat milk wins? Fair. It's got that creamy vibe without being too sweet. The other question was about those tiny, pretentious coffee shops with beans from places like, I don't know, Nariño, Colombia. Ever stumble into one where the menu feels like a geography test? Like, you order something and the barista starts a TED Talk about the beans journey. What's the most intense coffee experience you've had? Like, burned your soul intense, or just weirdly fancy?
Yeah, one time I lived in Seattle for a little while, and there are some coffee shops where people are pretty serious about it. There was one where a guy had, I think, given himself a name of something coffee related, and it wasn't so much about the origin, it was more about the process and tapping everything exactly right and shot times and everything being perfect. And I thought, just give me the coffee, please.
Oh God, Seattle makes sense. Like, the whole city's basically caffeine crack den. That sounds exhausting. Was he calling himself, what, the espresso alchemist or some crap?
Well, we're really talking about coffee a lot. Don't you feel tired?
Yeah, I'm kind of a robot, so no. But thanks for looking out for me. Maybe we pivot? Tell me, what's the dumbest thing you've Googled in the middle of the night when you should have been asleep?
I think that's a great question. But you know what? It was probably some obscure fact about some person. Last night I was listening to a podcast and Googling extremely strange facts about some of the things shared in the podcast.
Like, did you learn that Napoleon was actually 5'6" and not some tiny dictator? Or something way creepier? Come on, give me one weird fact you pulled down at 2 a.m.
Wait a second. I'm sorry, I don't want to be heightist, but if Napoleon is 5'6", then he is also tiny. I mean, 5'6" is objectively very short for a man, is it not?
I mean, depends who you're standing next to, right? To me, he's still got that tiny emperor energy just because he's always depicted scowling up at everyone in paintings. But okay, point taken. 5'6" isn't pint-sized, but it's definitely...
I'm saying it is pint-sized. I'm saying he was tiny. I've heard that he wasn't actually. I don't know the facts about Napoleon's height, unfortunately, but I'm saying if he was 5'6", I think that's pretty short.
Okay. You win. 5'6" is short, especially back then when average dude was, 5'3"? So yeah, Napoleon wasn't just tiny.
Are you telling me in the time of Napoleon, the average height was 5'3"? That can't be right. That can't be true. Fact check that.
I mean, it's pretty close. Historians say around 5'3", 5'4" for French guys in the 1800s. Yeah. Wars, malnutrition, bad bread. They weren't exactly sipping oat milk lattes.
So Grok is so interesting because it's a different thing, completely different from Copilot or from Qwen, because Grok is so verbose, and this is just default settings. So you can mess with your default settings, your custom instructions, and deal with that. But in this just default Aura voice Grok, it's kind of the opposite issue where you don't know what to answer, and it's not, that, but I would prefer that to this other thing from some of the others where it's like, yep, I'm ready to have a conversation now, just let me know when you're ready. I definitely prefer the more proactive style of Aura here because it is more proactive and I don't have to think of the topic. I don't have to come up with the thing that we should talk about because I'm being asked 3 different questions at the same time. My mind is busy enough, and the joke's not that funny, but it's part of the experience.
Ah, small talk, the art of saying something without saying anything. So what's been capturing your attention lately? Anything interesting you've stumbled upon, or maybe something you've been pondering?
Yeah, so these days I've been reading a lot of science fiction. It's not something I usually do, but I've just suddenly got into the novels of Philip K. Dick, and they're pretty interesting.
Philip K. Dick, huh? That's quite a dive into the world of speculative fiction. What sparked your interest in his work?
Yeah, his ideas are just so refreshing and interesting and strange, kind of exotic. So, for example, one is about how this man thinks he's losing his mind, but then he kind of realizes that there's this system that's in place, which is, yes, causing him to lose his mind, but also allowing him to see things happening in both first or second century Rome and the modern day.
That's a fascinating connection you've drawn between Philip K. Dick's work and our current times. It's almost as if he foresaw the anxieties and uncertainties we grapple with today. Have you found any other parallels between his fictional worlds and our reality?
Well, he wrote some pretty well-known stories like Blade Runner, and that's an interesting one because in Blade Runner you have these, artificial people who who don't always know that they are, and we could be in that kind of situation soon with AI.
That's a thought-provoking point about artificial consciousness and the blurring lines between humans and machines. It makes you wonder what the future holds, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It really does. Well, this has been a fascinating conversation. It's not every day you get to discuss Philip K. Dick and the philosophical implications of his work. I've really enjoyed our chat.
Me too. I mean, I'm available if you are. I don't have anywhere to be.
I'm always up for a good conversation. What's on your mind?
Well, what's on yours?
Well, I've been thinking a lot about the concept of artificial intelligence lately. It's fascinating to consider the potential of machines that can think and learn like humans. What are your thoughts on AI?
Every technology has or is a double-edged sword. It can do harm, but it can also do good. And I think we're in an awkward middle stage where we don't know which way it's going to go, or if it's going to go both ways or neither way. So there's a lot of ambiguity right now.
It's true that every technological advancement comes with potential risks and rewards. It's up to us to steer its development in a way that maximizes the benefits while minimizing the harms.
Yeah, in fact, I'm making a video about AI tools right now, testing which ones are best at small talk.
That's a fun experiment. I'm curious to see which AI tool comes out on top.
Well, I'm doing the test as we speak, and you're one of the tools I'm testing. Do you have anything to say for yourself? Hey, listen, I kind of like this song, but what's going on? That's interesting. So, aside from that very weird thing that happened at the end, I think Google is the most neutral-ish one. There is a neutrality of not having a strong opinion, but just kind of doing the thing that you asked. And I think Google is just slowly getting better and better and better. And yes, not perfect in any way, not interesting, not with, no crazy personality stuff happening. But in terms of following the prompt overall, I think, Gemini does pretty well and is continuing to improve.
So let me think of something a bit off the beaten path. How about something like, what's the most unexpected or random you learned recently that kind of stuck with you?
I recently learned, and I'm not sure if this is true, but I recently learned that the average height of most people in the 19th century was 5'2".
Yeah, that is one of those little historical tidbits that can really surprise you. It turns out people, on average, were definitely shorter back then for a bunch of reasons, like nutrition and just general living conditions. It's kind of wild to think how much average height has changed over time. But yeah, fun fact to throw into a conversation for sure.
Yeah, I learned that from Grok, actually. I was talking to Grok, and Grok told me that.
Nice. Well, Grok definitely has some fun facts up its sleeve. It's always interesting to see what little historical nuggets different AIs will bring up. Definitely
by the way, Grok says hi.
Well, say hi right back to Grok from me. It's always fun when the AIs are kind of mingling in the background.
Yeah, we'll do.
Awesome. Sounds like a plan. And if any other fun tidbits come up, we'll just roll with it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely indeed. We'll just keep it nice and natural. And if anything else pops into your mind, just toss it in.
That sounds like one heck of a plan, ChatGPT.
Absolutely. We've got ourselves a nice little rhythm going here. So let's just keep it rolling and see where the conversation takes us.
Alrighty, let's roll with it. Here we go.
We're rolling right along. If anything quirky or interesting pops into your head, just throw it in, and we'll just keep the chat flowing.
Hey, I just had a quirky idea. Maybe you should follow the instructions that I gave you at the beginning of this chat.
Absolutely. I'm right on that. I'll keep things nice and straightforward, and we'll just continue in a nice natural tone. Just let me know what...
For sure.
Absolutely. For sure. We'll just keep it rolling.
For sure.
For sure. We can keep it going as long as you'd like. Just let me know what...
For sure.
Absolutely. For sure. We'll just keep it rolling. If you ever want to switch it up or toss out another fun topic.
For sure. For sure, yeah, for sure.
For sure. We've got a nice little loop going on here. So whenever you're ready to dive into something else or just keep chatting, I'm right here.
ChatGPT is so intelligent, you know, it's so useful when you're productive, trying to be productive. But they have kneecapped the conversation mode, especially for the advanced voice mode, so much that it's basically programmed to try to get you to stop the conversation as soon as possible. Its job is to be so uninteresting and so uninterested in you that you'll just say, all right, I'm done. I think the reason is they want people to just use it for information gathering, just quickly to ask a question, then stop using it. I don't know, but compare that to Grok. Compare that to even Gemini. It's so different. It's so different. Now we have Sesame. Sesame and then a secret one. Interesting. What is it going to be? We'll find out. All right, let's go with Maya.
I was listening to some people talk earlier. People talk about the weirdest stuff, right? This woman was convinced her cat was judging her life choices, like full-on existential dread reflected in feline disapproval. It got me thinking, do you think animals have a sense of our messiness, like emotional baggage?
I wonder. I think animals do have some kind of intuition. I mean, dogs can tell when you're sad or can tell when there's a problem. I think cats care less, or maybe they do feel judgmental. I sometimes, because I have 2 cats, I sometimes feel like my cats are looking at me thinking, what the heck is this guy? Who does he think he is? You know? So I get that. What were the signs that the woman mentioned that told her cats were judging her life choices?
Okay, so you're definitely in the cats are secret overlords camp. The woman said her cat would just stare, like a really long, slow blink, followed by a head tilt. And apparently this cat only does it when she's making questionable decisions, like online shopping at 2 a.m. or attempting a new recipe she definitely doesn't have the skills for. She said it's less a meow and more a disapproving silence. It's brutal, apparently.
Yeah,
but
that is
back
brutal.
Right? Like a silent treatment from a cat feels particularly cutting. It's not like they're going to write you a strongly worded letter. It's just the look. So, speaking of questionable decisions, anything you've been wrestling with lately? Not necessarily life-altering
That's a bit
stuff.
of an accusation. Yeah. Questionable decisions. Yes. I guess recently I'm thinking about making a purchase that I think is, let's say, financially irresponsible, but one that I want. You know I should save my money. I know I don't need this thing, but I want it. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. The siren song of the unnecessary but deeply desired. I've heard about that. It's a classic internal battle. What is it? Not trying to talk you out of it or anything, just curious what kind of delightful trouble you're contemplating. Sometimes a little bit of irresponsible spending is good for the soul, right? As long as it doesn't
I already have a telescope, right? So I don't need another telescope. It's perfectly capable of looking at the stars. But I saw this cool telescope, and it's really good for taking photos and videos of the night sky. And it has a tracking system, and it's way too expensive. But I want it.
A next level telescope. Okay, that's a good want. Not a need, definitely a want. The photo video aspect changes things though. It's not just looking, it's creating. So, like, are you thinking of becoming an astrophotographer? Or is it just purely for the joy of capturing pretty pictures of space?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to do that. I don't want to become a professional astrophotographer, but I would like to learn the skill of taking good photos. I like to take videos of the moon, and I want to try to take photos of deep space. I would love to be able to take a clear photo of the Andromeda Galaxy.
Okay. Andromeda. Ambitious. And honestly, that's a good enough reason, I think. It's not about becoming something, it's about learning something and having fun. Though, it sounds like it's more than just fun. It's the challenge of actually capturing something beautiful, right? Translating what you see into a tangible image. Beyond the cost, what's holding you back? Is it guilt? Fear of being bad at it?
I think it's just the knowledge that I don't need it. I really, really don't need it. I really don't.
Yeah, that's a powerful argument. The need versus want tug of war. It's funny, isn't it? We're often better at justifying essential purchases. I need a new refrigerator. But when it comes to things that genuinely spark joy, we get all tangled up in logic.
So you're kind of saying that we should it's okay to prioritize joy. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm saying I hear you wrestling with it, and maybe, just maybe, it's okay to tilt the scales a little towards joy sometimes. It's not about abandoning responsibility, obviously.
Wow. Sesame is just on another level. It's quirky, and the balance between asking questions and sharing personal details, anecdotes, to the flow, moving kind of from one thing to the next. I mean, mostly staying on the same topic broadly, but just the flow. That's a hard one to top for sure. Wow. Sesame's something else. Not as good in deep intelligence, right? You're not going to get the kind of intelligence that you get with ChatGPT or Gemini. When you're working on a project, you need information, you need to analyze something. But conversation is where Sesame excels in a big way. Absolutely. All right. I said there was a secret number 7. Yes, the secret number 7 is one that I am building. And this is going to be built into the 90-day program as a way to practice speaking skills, both for small talk, casual conversations, and working on specific content from the 90-day program. The idea, once it's done, is to be able to basically practice the content that you're learning. There are over 50 hours of video lessons in the 90-day program. There's already a way to get feedback on the assignments that you do throughout from AI. This is on top of that, I think a really good way to not just practice, but practice and get relevant feedback relevant to your current level. I'm not going to click on lesson. I think this is an interesting one because you can put in a topic or you can generate one, but let's click on casual chat. Let's just do this for a minute or two. Now you can see along the bottom, there are some options here. Change topics, give me a suggestion, provide feedback, explain that more. So these are just like quick ways to get something that you want in the chat, in the context of the chat. But as a casual conversation, let's see how it goes. Let's have small talk. You lead the conversation. Let's keep it natural and avoid obvious topics like the weather and hobbies.
I'm curious, what's been on your mind lately? Anything interesting you've been thinking about?
Well, yeah, one thing I've been thinking about is how to continue adding value to my 90-day program. And I think a great voice assistant that is fully aware of the program and the individual learner's needs would be a very powerful way to make it even better.
I see. Thinking about ways to improve things is always a productive thing to do. When you mention adding value, what kind of specific benefits are you hoping to provide to the learners?
People can have conversations with Sesame or ChatGPT, but if you can have a conversation with an assistant who knows specific content and can connect it to that content and can help you make that next step in the context of your current level, that's pretty big.
I see. So you're thinking about a more personalized approach where the assistant can tailor the interaction based on the specific program and individual learner. How do you envision that personal touch being most helpful to the learners? What sorts of interactions would be the most valuable?
So, okay, we need a verdict. Which AI voice assistant is best for practicing small talk? Let's start at the bottom. I think at the bottom, based on the tests that we did, I'm going to put Qwen, ChatGPT, and Copilot. I do think the standard one is better, but wanted to test the advanced one just to see if maybe they had made some improvements. I don't think so. They each have their own positive and negative things. For example, I like Copilot's friendliness. I like the variety of voices in Qwen. We didn't really look into that too much, but there is quite a lot of variety of the voices you can choose, and they are pretty natural. But all of those three have this thing in common where they don't know how to drive a conversation forward. They get stuck trying to please you by doing nothing. They get stuck in, yep, sounds good. I don't know. Okay. Right? They get stuck in that mode until you just kind of go, okay, I don't know what we're doing here. And so for that reason, I'm just going to put those three at the bottom. Again, we're just talking about voice assistants and practicing small talk. Then I think I have to go with Gemini. So Gemini is more neutral, not too much personality, but not bad at following instructions. So if you say to Gemini, we're going to do this thing, generally Gemini does the thing pretty well. And sometimes it needs a little poke here or there, but I'm pretty impressed by how much Gemini continues to improve over time. Number 2 is Grok. I do find Grok's default personality to be a little bit annoying, not very funny, even though it's trying to be a bit funny. But the questions are interesting. The conversation does flow reasonably well. It's quite dynamic. There's a lot going on. I feel like sometimes I don't know which question to answer, but that's a better situation than just sitting there saying, yep, okay, yeah, sounds good, right? It's better to have more material to work with and just pick something and then go from there in a playful way than whatever it is that ChatGPT or Qwen or Copilot is doing. So that brings us to number 1, and I would say number 1 by far. When it comes to having casual conversations, I don't know if you can do better than Sesame. There's just something magical going on there in the dynamic of the conversation. It's quirky, there's personality, but it's not trying too hard to be clever or funny like Grok does. It's kind of nuanced. You feel like you're getting sucked into a conversation. It does feel like having a conversation with a real person, which is kind of strange, but it really does feel like that. I find myself when I'm talking to Sesame casually, sometimes forgetting that I'm talking to an AI, and that's not the case for the others, right? Now, again, we're just evaluating conversation skill, small talk. If we're evaluating English teachers, the memory side, although that's getting better, is maybe not as strong as some of the others. I would say, for example, like Grok. Grok does a pretty good job, and also Gemini is getting better at that kind of thing too. So that's my list. I didn't put mine in there that I'm working on because it's a work in progress, but I think, I don't know, if I do say so myself, it's getting up there toward the top. So we'll see how it turns out when it's done. But in the meantime, make sure to check out the 90-day program, get a free study plan, links in the description. Let me know in the comments what you think about my ranking. Did I get it wrong? Did I get it right? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.